Hi guys, my name is Rohit and I have been working in data science and AI field from last 10 years. And one of the common question that I have received from many people who don't know much about data science or the work profile of data scientist is what exactly you do as a data scientist? What is your role? So some people feel that data scientists are writing, let's say Python code for a complete day. Some people feel that data scientists work on some mathematical equations, do some derivations, and that's what is their work. So there are a lot of thoughts around what exactly data scientists do. So in today's video, I would give you clarity regarding what exactly is the job role of data scientist and how the typical day looks like when you work as a data scientist. Let's get started. So when you work as a data scientist, mainly you would be working on tools like Python, SQL, then you would need machine learning. And if you need some kind of a visualization, then you would need Tableau and Power BI. So in terms of the technology, these are the tools and technologies you would be using. But mostly what you need, if you ask me, in terms of the programming, you would need Python. Because if let's say if you're spending 8 hours in a day, then out of that in 3 to 4 hours, you would be writing Python code. So for a data scientist, the role of a data scientist is different than role of a software engineer. As a software engineer, people spend a lot of hours in writing the code, but that's not the case for data scientist. As a data scientist, a lot of time is spent in discussing law with the stakeholders. So let's take an example of a project. So we are not going to get a project which is a very well defined project. So you would get a project where people would say that, okay, there is this data we have. Now you tell me as a data scientist what you can do on this data. It would be not very clearly defined. So your role of as a data scientist would be then discussing with that stakeholder about the data, what kind of business problems they have, and then thinking about which of those business problems can be solved using the data and the machine learning technologies that you know. So this is the first effort that you have to definitely spend. Even during the project, there is a lot of effort, lot of meetings that you have to do with the stakeholders. So I don't think you would be writing code for more than 4 to 5 hours, even if you are a beginner level data scientist, because a lot of stakeholder management, lot of data analysis, data understanding effort is involved when you're working as a data scientist. Then another thing is, once you get the data, again you would come to know that, okay, I need some features, but those features are not available in the data set or in the database which I have. You have to go back to your data engineering team, tell them that this is the data you need. Then they would get that data in your data warehouse, and then you would start working again on the project. So there is a lot of to and fro happening when you are working as a data scientist. Then once you get the data, analyze the data. While building the models, you have to do a lot of experimentation. So you have to try different features. You have to basically apply different data cleaning and the processing methodologies on the features so that the model is able to understand that in a right way. You have to try different machine learning models and basically different hyperparameters to give you the best results. You don't have to write any mathematical equations as a data scientist, okay? The mathematics is needed just to understand how the machine learning models work. But when you're actually working as a data scientist in the industry to solve business problems, you are not writing any mathematical derivations. So please get this thing very, very straight. Now, another role or another thing in which you have to spend a lot of time is presentations, because you have to constantly keep showing your results to the stakeholders. So you have to work on the presentations in the form of like PPTs, or you can directly show your graphs. You can directly show your output in the form of CSV file as well. It depends on what kind of communication you're having. So if you are discussing with, let's say, the SMEs who understand the data, you don't need to prepare like very polished presentation. But if you are discussing with directors and MDs and you want to provide them update about your project, then obviously you have to create the presentation as well. Then another thing as a data scientist where I do think that lot of people spend time, especially people who become expert data scientists, is understanding the domain. So understanding exactly the data and the processes of the business in which they are working, and trying to keep relevant knowledge related to the new technology. So for example, right now generative AI is the new technology within the data science and AI domain. So you would have to always keep some time aside in a week, let's say a couple of hours, to understand what is happening in the latest technologies, because you would definitely need those latest technology and methodologies to improve your machine learning models. So this is how is the work of a data scientist, and very much effort has to be, lot of effort has to be put on understanding the problem statement, understanding the data, framing the problem, presenting the results, getting sign off. And once you build your project, that project is not done. It's not same as the software engineering project that it can directly go into the support system. You have to keep monitoring that project even after it is delivered, even if after it is deployed in the production. because you have to keep updating your machine learning model on a regular basis. Let's say after every 3 to 4 months, depending on the kind of data that you are getting. Then you have to monitor the quality of data that is going in your machine learning model, because if the quality of data gets impacted, your results of the model would also get impacted. So the role of data scientist is much, much different than the traditional role of a software engineer. And I would tell you one thing that is really nice in the data scientist role, and I have personally enjoyed it a lot over last 10 years, is you would get to work on innovative and challenging problem statements. So when you work on the projects and once you deliver those projects successfully, you would feel that you have created a huge impact on the company in which you are working. That's the kind of work, that's the kind of projects you would be doing. Those won't be small projects which no one would notice. You would get a lot of visibility in the organization. You would become popular in the organization as well if you are delivering projects in the right way, because in the most of the organizations you won't have like hundreds of data scientists. There are small data science teams which are working on big projects, so you can definitely create a huge impact when you work as a data scientist. So this is how I would say the work of a data scientist looks like. And there are three main advantages that you get in a data scientist role. The first advantage is obviously the innovative work, so you would actually enjoy the kind of work that you're doing. The second advantage is work-life balance, because most of the data science projects are long-term projects. So they take like 4 to 8 months in terms of starting from the production stage. So it's a long-term assignment. It's not going to happen that someone would give you the data in the morning and tell you that by end of day, deliver a machine learning model. That is not going to happen. So because of that, you get good work-life balance as well. You get good time to analyze the data, think about different approaches and come up with the best one. And the third advantage that you get in a data science as a profession is obviously the good compensation, because still data science is like a niche technology, and data science, AI, these fields are still growing. So you definitely can demand a better compensation as compared to other IT skill sets when you work as a data scientist. So this is how is the life of data scientist in the industry. And I hope you got more clarity to this video. Thanks for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.